It was a night that no one in the studio audience or watching at home will soon forget. The stage lights of The Late Show with Stephen Colbert glimmered like polished gold, the crowd buzzing with anticipation. Senator John Kennedy, known for his sharp wit and down-home humor, had come to talk about policy, but what unfolded was something far more personal. Within minutes, laughter turned to stunned silence as Colbert's playful banter veered into dangerous territory, an accusation that would shake the room and spark a national conversation. As Colbert leaned forward, a sly grin on his face, he read from his cue cards, "Senator Kennedy, some say your recent statements about integrity in politics ring hollow, especially given rumors about your own involvement in questionable campaign donations." The words hit the air like an electric shock. The audience gasped. Kennedy blinked once, twice, his expression hardening just slightly before he smiled, a calm, measured smile that hinted at both pain and pride. "Well, Stephen," he said, his Louisiana drawl soft but steady, "you just accused me of something I didn't do. And I'm not the kind of man who takes that sitting down." The energy shifted. Gone was the easy laughter that usually filled Colbert's set. In its place, tension, curiosity, a silent standoff between humor and honor. Kennedy didn't lash out. Instead, he spoke from the heart. He told a story few had ever heard before, about growing up in a small southern town where his father worked 3 jobs, and his mother taught him that integrity is what you do when nobody's looking. He said he entered politics not to make headlines, but to make change, and that accusations like these, false or exaggerated, don't just hurt reputations, they wound families. Colbert, known for his sharp tongue and fearless interviews, looked caught off guard. The audience leaned forward as Kennedy's tone softened. "I've been called a lot of things in my career," he continued, "but dishonest isn't one of them. You can disagree with my policies, Stephen, and Lord knows people do, but don't question my heart unless you've walked a mile in my shoes." His words carried weight, honest, raw, and unfiltered. For a few seconds, Colbert said nothing. Then he lowered his cue cards and admitted that the accusation had come from an unverified online rumor that had gained traction earlier that week. He hadn't expected Kennedy to take it so personally or to respond so passionately. "You're right," Colbert said finally, his voice quieter than usual. "Sometimes, in the rush to get laughs, we forget there are real people behind the headlines." The crowd erupted not with laughter, but with applause. Kennedy nodded, a glint of emotion in his eyes. What followed wasn't confrontation but connection. The two men began talking not as host and guest, but as human beings on opposite sides of a political divide trying to find common ground. They discussed the impact of social media on truth, how fast misinformation spreads, and how easy it is for public trust to crumble in an age of viral sound bites. By the end of the interview, something rare had happened on late-night television, a genuine, emotional reckoning. Colbert closed the segment with an unusual sincerity. "Senator Kennedy," he said, "thank you for reminding us that behind every story, there's a soul." Kennedy smiled softly. "And behind every soul," he replied, "there's a story worth telling honestly." The clip went viral overnight. Comment sections lit up with words like respect, truth, and redemption. Viewers from across the political spectrum praised both Amina for Kennedy's grace under fire, and for Colbert's humility in owning the moment. For once, the headline wasn't about scandal or division, but about something much rarer, mutual understanding. In the days that followed, Kennedy's speech was replayed on news channels, dissected in think pieces, and quoted across social media. What began as an accusation ended as an affirmation of value, honesty, empathy, and the courage to stand your ground without losing your humanity. It's easy to forget, in the noise of modern politics, that leaders are still deeply flawed, hopeful, and hungry for something real. That night, in front of millions, John Kennedy reminded the nation that integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about standing tall when the lights are brightest and the world is watching. And as the credits rolled, you could feel it not just in the audience, but across the country, a quiet hope that maybe, just maybe, truth still has a place in the spotlight.